We good?
You're live.
Oh, you could have given me a heads up, not looked at me.
She just looked and smiling.
So this is our Q&A deal. I don't know. Did you print any pictures or?
I didn't print no pictures at all.
No pictures. Okay, question.
No picture. I did have a few questions that has come across, and so that you guys know, anybody that has anything they'd like to ask within reason, shoot us a question. We'd be happy to ask.
You can ask it out of reason. It's not like it comes directly to us. It just puts pressure on Turk.
Oh, okay. Well, she'll ask them then. That's fine. I think you have some right now, Turk, that you want to. You got a couple questions there?
Yes, Teresa Rush had asked, when would the Street Stalker be ready?
Which Street Stalker? We thought Brian Bears was there last week. I was telling him today, I thought Brian should have won last week. I'm not going to do that. Never mind. We'll have a Street Stalker to run. Our plan is to run it some next year. When we're home from the ARCA deal, we hope to be at Salem running the Street Stalker some next year. That's our plan right now.
And we actually are going to pick that up
Here
Thursday.
Soon.
Soon. Okay, soon.
Yes.
Okay, so Thomas Hunsucker Jr. asked 2018 plans.
To run a Street Stalker when we are out when we're home from the ARCA races. Right now we've got 7.
You all can't see that, but Champ just tried to attack Josh's leg. That was pretty funny.
He bit and the leg was so tough,
All right,
walls
buddy.
wouldn't go through.
Good job, buddy.
2018, right now, done, solidified, for sure races. Will be in the car at both Salem's, both dirt races, Kansas and Chicago, and one other one that we actually know which one it is, but I don't think we can announce it just yet.
We'll just hold off on that one.
It's another racetrack that ARCA's going to that we haven't been for a while, and Will's going to be in the car at that racetrack as well. A little bit of a hint: these fast
fuel system is based right around the corner. So
have come on board, and it's a racetrack that's kind of close to their home, so we're going to support them and go into this race there with them. So that's our deal right now. We've got 7 of them done in concrete. 2 or 3 of them actually we've talked to this week, and we're going to follow through with some more next week.
And we're doing those races because Brad Tracy have stepped up from Fast Fuel Systems. Want to see me race more and more, so they're going to be our primary sponsors on the quarters for those 7 races. And then after that, we'll see what else happens. But big shout out to them. Just want to see us. Champ's eating Josh up. It's pretty funny. But
This is a first.
Right? Big shout out to them guys for stepping up like that. Just strictly wanting to see me race more. Oh, now he's getting Christina. Hey, we need to get this on camera. Hang on, let's see.
Hey.
Hang on, let's see. Oh yeah. Hang on. Let's see if I can.
No.
Oh, he's running off. Dang it. You need to get him on camera doing that.
Okay, well,
That was funny. Anyway, appreciate Fast coming on like that. We're pretty excited about it. Haven't had that kind of consistency with the sponsorship come back year after year for quite some time. So me and Dad are definitely looking forward to getting going, doing this deal, and updating our cars and coming back and try to be more and more competitive. That's our goal, and we're looking forward to it.
The neat thing about it is we can plan now. We don't have to wait until the second week of April and say, oh, we get to go run Salem now. So that's kind of the neat thing about that. I mean, even last year in the fall race at Salem, we did 90% of our testing and our practicing on the old Hoosier tires that we had here, rather than putting them on the new General tires. So that's going to be a big help for us. And along with that, just so you guys know, if you see anybody out there, there's still spots in that race car that's going to be blank for those 7 races, and we can certainly use some of that help. So that's our plan right now.
Next.
You want to do one off?
Behind you. I'm just kidding.
He's over there. You want to do one off your sheet?
Yeah, kind of interesting. I'll just play along with that.
You told me you didn't print anything out.
I just got to put down here some notes. I have one question that asks the difference between the General tire and the Hoosier tire. Kind of interesting. Actually, not a whole lot of difference at all. The General logo has gone on the side of the tire. Basically, it's still made at the Hoosier headquarters in northern Indiana. So it's basically the same tire. General has just taken over all the rights to the marketing, which has absolutely been a huge benefit to the racers. General has given back to the series. They've given back to the racers. I think if you all say something in the interview, what is the deal?
Interview after the race, you get a $250 Visa card, pretty much $250 to spend as long as you mention General Tire in a positive light, which is actually kind of hard not to, because they've actually done a really good job this year.
It was kind of a real easy transition, so it's been a really good deal for that. And
I wonder if that counts.
I don't know what I've asked John, but it's very, very easily now. Now, on the flip side of that, if you do see a guy running a practice session at Salem or the Coin or Springfield or any place, and their sidewalls are black, chances are they might have a set of Hoosiers on during the practice, because we're allowed to run the old Hoosiers in practice. We just can't have any letterings on. But I'll promise you, the old Hoosiers are slower than the new Generals, and the reason being is simply because of the age of the tires. So, but other than that, that's pretty much the down low on the General Tire.
Okay. Chris Reardon commented, "What's up, guys? I'm ready. Let's go." No question there, Chris, but
It's almost November, Chris. Just stick to iRacing right now. That's going to have to hold you over.
Chris is our right front tire changer, just so that you guys know what he does for us. Very good one. That works hard to racetrack as well. Okay.
Next. Kind of thin on the questions there.
There's other things.
Okay.
Are we racing Daytona 2018?
Not right now.
Well,
That's about it. I mean, right now it's not. Yeah, let's pull the camera closer here. It's not looking like that right now. It's just for the sponsorship we have with Fast, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us to spend that money and do a Daytona car and make one race out of it. And if my luck's like it was at Talladega and we get caught up in some stuff like that, we wouldn't be able to go to Talladega, and over 3/4 of my budget would be out the window strictly on a chance at Daytona. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me and Dad to go down there and try to race. And we're not totally decided on what we're doing as a whole season kind of deal.
And the deal is now Daytona, so that you understand. So
it's even
the
expensive.
steel car is no longer legal at Daytona. You have to run a composite car. And so that being said, there's going to be some rule changes. They're going to do a test at Daytona in about 2 weeks. I'm sorry, at Talladega in about 2 weeks. I think there'll be some rule changes that might come out of that test session. But the biggest thing is you're almost going to have to build a complete race car for that speedway, and that's a pretty expensive race car. So until we get on our feet a little bit more for the speedway stuff, we do have some speedway cars sitting here in a steel body form that we'd have to change over, but it's a pretty big expense. So
we ain't got some. We have one. The rest of them are outside.
No, we've got some. So that's it right now. And if that changes, and as that changes, it gets closer, we'll certainly keep you guys informed.
Jerry asked, "How do you like composite body compared to the old sheet metal?"
Ooh. I'll go first because Dad's trying to be politically correct, but right now the composite bodies started out really good, and it's nothing the 5-star's doing. But unfortunately, right now we are playing some catch up because the bodies aren't exactly. They've been changed from their stock form, and unfortunately, when we go to these other places like the intermediates and stuff, right now we're at a little bit of disadvantage because we don't have the tricked out composite bodies, as you would say. And it's kind of hard to see at the naked eye, but there's some stuff that's been done to them to make them a little bit better in the air than the way you get them from the factory. And that's put us a little bit behind, and that's a little bit why you haven't seen us at some of the intermediate tracks this year, because we know we're at a disadvantage when it comes to that. So we're going to try to get back after it next year and hopefully ARCA comes down a little bit tighter on the bodies, and that'll give us more of a level playing field. That's pretty good, right? That's fair.
Great.
You can go.
I love the composite bodies. Next. No, I'll tell you. The realistically, the tighter box that you get put into with rules, the better, the more well-funded teams become. So that's what's happened to us right now. With the composite deal, we don't have access to wind tunnels like we used to. You know, back when we were winning championships year after year, we were in the wind tunnel 5 and 6 times a year, and we had that advantage over our competitors, and it showed up at the racetrack. We do not have that advantage right now, and we are getting it slapped in our face, and it really does hurt. So if the tighter they become on some of that stuff, and I think that'll help us some. You know, the last time I think we were at Kentucky with a steel body, we qualified second or third. We come back the next year, and all we did was put on an equal body, equal to everybody else's, and we were a second and a half off. So we absolutely have some catching up to do. I do believe we've gotten closer with Nick's car at Kentucky this past year, and as well at Pocono and in Michigan. We started doing some things that originally weren't supposed to be allowed to be done, and we started getting closer. So it's a little bit more. I'm going to say we're looking more forward to it. And I wasn't going to take Will back to the Speedway until we felt that we could get competitive. And you'll see us at Kansas and Chicago next year, because I think we're making gains again.
Okay, Todd asked, are you guys coming to Pocono in June 2018?
Don't know yet.
That's a question for the office. That's why I was kind of giving that look. I didn't know. That's
Don't know
the
yet.
office.
I would assume that we will. We have that our plans are to be at every race next year. Yes, and I would
In
think
some
that we
form.
in some form we should be at Pocono. Yes.
Especially for Bellamillas. If anything, for Bellamillas.
Yes. It's a little Italian place. It's a wonderful place to go eat.
Next.
The next person asked if there are any big plans for the off season. Off being in quotes.
Trying to get we got a finish street stock, and we got plenty of updates to do on ARCA cars. That's
Okay.
Well, you mean like another grandchild?
Oh, Okay, we move on to the next question.
I don't know. I mean,
Tell Erica to bring us something to drink when she gets down here. I like to have a diet. That's who's asking that. I can tell you that right now.
that's a trap.
Yes.
I tried to say the off season. Okay, this is a. I have not read this. Let's see.
Why did you help her on that though, Christina? You could have said Erica said. Instead, you said this person.
Right. Remember that, Erica. Okay. As a spectator, I've seen Salem get over 100 cars for Halloween 200 here in Salem.
Showing her age.
This year, there was 40. How do we, in your mind, get the cars number back up? Or do you think 40 to 50 cars fit best? Crazy finish this year. And that is from Scott.
Go. I mean,
Scott
I know what I
Pointer.
would say. Who?
Scott Pointer.
I definitely think I would like to see more cars. Do I think 100 cars at Salem will make a better race? No, I don't think so. 100 of the cars that we have at Salem right now is not. It's a different race.
It's not an enduro.
No,
Just say that.
I started in 88th or 90th one time up here, and the fastest our cars would go was probably in a 21-second range. That was probably our fastest cars. And now you've got cars up there that run around there in 19 seconds all day long. So it's absolutely a different race, and I think that actually the race is taking a little bit of a transition right now, because you're seeing some of the rules of the old enduro still in force, where you need to get rid of some of that stuff and just say, well,
it's
we
a
got a
race.
race now. It's a race because them guys are spending $25,000 to $35,000 on those race cars, and at one time last Sunday, I mean, they went, I don't know, 25 or 30 laps green, and you had 14 or 15 cars lined up, and man, them guys put on a show. I mean, they flat went at it. So I think 40 to 50 cars is absolutely plenty when you're putting that quality of a race car on the racetrack. Would I like to see an enduro at Salem with 100 cars? Absolutely. I think it's what they call it, the Texas 600 or something, where you run front wheel drives and everything.
Front wheel drive and drovers.
I think that would be awesome. But in the way the cars are built right now, I think 40 or 50 is.
You just gotta be careful because you're gonna get a big speed lapse.
Speed difference.
Yes, yeah, speed difference, and that we have that a little bit in ARCA. And when you catch them that fast on a track that is not that wide like Salem, and there's only one groove, it can cost guys a lot of money. And when $5,000 is a payout, and you got that much race car there, it can get kind of tricky. So you gotta be careful with that.
But what a neat race! That's a good race.
I was glad to see 40 or 50.
Of that quality of a race car.
I mean,
yes.
that's a pretty good field.
Okay, next question. Jake Phillips says, are you all planning on doing any driver development programs in the near future?
Actually, we talked this morning. We were talking to a 13-year-old girl that was wanting to get into racing. We tried to steer her dad a little bit. We've got some guys right now talking to us about going to Daytona and testing in January. So yes, I mean it's always open to do that. Yes.
Okay. Steve may have hopped in later. He's saying, how full of a card are you planning on running next year? You want to touch on that just once again?
Well,
it's touch and go, right? I mean, we got 7 for sure, but
at some point, would we like to run a full season? Absolutely, would love to run a full season. Yes, but that full season would have to be financed to where we have enough money to go. It's no fun, and I know 90% of the guys that are listening to this and watching this right now, for you guys that run Salem or Sportsdrome or any place, that you know what I'm talking about when I say it's no fun to go to the racetrack and think, man, I wish I could buy another set of tires. And we don't want to do that. When we go to a place like Pocono or Michigan, and your competitors are putting on tires, and a set of tires costs us $2,200 at Michigan and Pocono, it takes a lot of money to do it. So if we go to that, we've just got to be funded well enough to be able to do that.
Next question. Greg Wesley says, do you feel that some series sponsors are driving the rule changes with new products such as composite bodies, making it difficult for small teams to compete?
I do. I do think there is some of that. I think when some of the new changes come along, it ought to be nothing more than an option. Let me put it to you that way.
trucks.
And a good example, I think, that the truck series is talking about running in Ilmore next year. And if it happens, I believe it's going to be nothing more than an option. And what that means is it's not mandatory, or you're not going to be penalized with the older motor. You can still run what you have in your garage, but an option is going to be a cheaper way of doing it. And maybe that should be the same way when you're putting a composite body on versus a steel body. I think now ARCA really true. I think the way they did the composite body with us, to be very honest, has been pretty fair, because it's been a real slow changeover. I think the motor deal should have been absolutely an option, especially on the short tracks, because it's alienated a lot of guys that have older cars with older motors sitting in their garage, because it's about a 70 horsepower difference when you go to a place like Salem.
If you got a good
old motor.
Yeah, if you got a fresher D or SP2.
A couple comments. Steve says, I will bring some pulled pork barbecue in the future.
Wonderful.
We will be here.
Scott says, thanks for the insight. He's the one that asked about Salem. Billy says, Any new big sponsors coming on board for next year?
Well, we have, we touched on this a little bit, but yeah, Fast Fuel Systems is coming on for 7 races. And we're actually doing a lot with Brad and Tracy outside the race car right now. Looking like a uniform and probably a wrap on the semi as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on with him for these 7 races to try to get him a little bit of more exposure.
It's probably going to be a 2 or 3 year deal. Right, Brad?
No. Brad's mom.
Brad's mom, that's exactly
Brad's
right.
mom. Yeah. That's who we got to talk to. No, if you all got diesel trucks or anything like that, be sure to look up Fast Fuel System. Fuel air separation. Just a really nice, clean unit. Super good for injectors. I've run them on 3 of my trucks right now. We have one on the semi and looking to get one on the motorhome as well. But just really good overall preventive maintenance. Great product, and can't ask for any more support from Brad and them guys.
Any other sponsors you want to talk about that have been with you all for?
Clarksville Swin's been with me from day one. That's Bob Peters, and he is the reason we're able to do what we are. Period. There's no other way to say that. So, big shout out to Bob, and other than that, that's obviously Bob Brim with the graphics and stuff. I mean, he does things. He turns our graphics out. When we did the throwback scheme for Salem, I think he did that in less than a week, didn't he?
Yes.
I mean, every bit. And we actually had problems.
Bob actually sat at the desk all week and did that.
But we actually had problems with the gold leaf numbers on that car, and the numbers come out a little bit off, and Bob fixed them within a couple hours. So couldn't ask for much more for people who support Kimmel Racing. So that's
Joe Laramie, I think, is going to come back next year with us.
Joe Laramie Jewelers. That was a new one. That one actually stemmed from Facebook, I believe.
I think it was.
He come on board with ORP. Team Construction, Donnie. I got to talk to him a little bit more about next year. But that's been our big supporter.
I think you'll see Joe in the car as an associate in all 7 of our races.
Yeah.
So that's what Joe and I talked about it. And Will hadn't talked to Donnie completely about it, but Donnie, he's going to talk to you about that. So
he knows. I already called. I think I got to talk to him later on, maybe first of the year. But Longhorn Fab Shop, the Kimmel built hats that I've been wearing, and some of the help with our Hyman stuff and things like that. Manfred and Heather helped me on the side with some stuff. I think that it's hard to. I'm looking for cars because I have to look DEI.
Well, you tore off most of the doors and stuff off.
The doors laying over there.
DEI and KRC Lug Nuts. KRC Lug Nuts has been a supporter of us from day one. I mean, ever since they actually been in business, and wonderful people. The DEI is a heat mats, and you can go online for your street car. They got sound barriers and everything like that. Very good company.
Okay. JP asked, are you all taking applications for pit crew members?
Oh, I'm glad he said that. Yes, the answer, yeah, absolutely, we are. We're gonna try to put something together because we know we have 7 races. So nothing is better than having the same 6 guys go over the wall at every race. So office at kimmelracing.com. Send me something. Absolutely. And right now, and worst thing, I need a jack man. I'll be honest with you, I need a jack guy. Because I say Chris is front guy. I've got some hangers. Lunchy's coming back. He's got his foot fixed. So we got things working right now, but absolutely send me something. Yes.
Jake asked, how can I contact you about wanting to drive for you next year?
Will at kimmelracing.com.
It's not right. It's office at kimmelracing.com.
Joe Smith asked, any updates with the Great American Racing Series?
That's a gas series up at Salem.
No, I think he's talking about the Circle Track Series.
Oh.
Is that right? The GARS Series.
Yeah.
I believe so, yes.
GARS Series, yes. GARS, yeah.
Yes. No, I don't think so. I think that's been put to bed, to be honest with you. It's really, really disappointing. And what probably stopped that as quick as anything, I think we had 16 cars or 14 cars at Memphis.
I don't think we had that. I think we had like 12 or 13 that day. 12? Bam was saying 12?
And when that happened, the money people that was putting the money in it
because that was supposed to be the big finale.
Really didn't like what they seen, and I don't think that I'm not going to say it couldn't come back or I wouldn't come back. I know Rob is back with E3 now, but I'm not going to say it couldn't happen. It left the way it shouldn't have left. I mean, I really thought that we would get a little bit more support from the local guys than what we really got on something like that. So, but I'll never say never.
Next one's off your sheet.
This is an interesting question. What does an ARCA race pay? Wow, this is really gonna
A little bit more than the Halloween 200.
sometimes. It's really kind of it's kind of misleading a little bit. Okay, I guess I'll just tell you the way it works. If you win at Salem in an ARCA race, it pays $5,000 to win, and it pays $800 to start. Now, you're thinking, boy, that's nothing. That's terrible. And it is. That's not. Because our tire bill at Salem is going to be $5,000. There's contingencies on there. Ford Motor Company pays us $3,000 to win. General Tire has a winner bonus. There's a lot of victory bonuses for the top spots and
Top three.
top three, but there's some for fifth and 10th. But I mean, if you won Salem, you would probably walk out of there somewhere in the neighborhood of $10,000 to $12,000. Our best paying races, of course, are Daytona and Talladega, and I think the purse at Talladega, Daytona is like $16,000 to win. But time you left there, you're going to leave there with $26,000, $27,000. So that's gives you some idea like that. So that's why fast fuel systems and Clarksville Swing are so important. You've got to have sponsors to make it work.
That's why everybody's important, because it takes a lot for us to get there and go to a race. Most I haven't won an ARCA race, so we haven't really seen that, and that's why it gets tough on us.
That's why I said 800 to start.
even when even if we do win one of those races like that, we would be all but breaking even at that point.
Todd asked, is Will going to be driving in 2018?
Yes, we have 7 races sold with fast fuel systems.
And you said it in the beginning, but do you want to say what races it is?
Salem, both Salems, both Dirts, Chicago, Kansas, and another one TVA. I got it. Didn't forget.
You already gave them the information. Now they just got to go on
announced.
to Google.
And it's not us holding it back. It's the series holding it up.
Right, Dad dropped them. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Billy said, would like to see Will win some next year. Go ahead. You want to respond?
Preaching to the choir.
He also says good luck.
Need that too. If you don't believe it, look right outside the door. Probably should have won the coin. I'll take most of the fault for that. Had a really fast car. Pretty much burnt the tires off of it because it was really fast up front, and got a little bit overzealous. Ended up getting in a wreck because I didn't have anything to go with on the restart. Got shoved into it from behind, and then used the rest of the car up when we come in, took tires. Finished 7th, but probably feel like that race was easily won. That if I would have raced more throughout the season and been ready for what I had, probably should have won that one. 78 and 52 were both hard to beat. But I may not have won that one because if 78 was 3 cars around me, behind me, he was definitely going to hit me or somebody else. So it's hard to say.
Finished was the key word that I heard there. Finished.
Yeah, but it.
Next one's off your sheet.
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're good, or you don't want to ask it? You don't want to say it?
Andy must have tuned in late. He's asking, where's Champ hanging out? Well,
On Josh's leg.
My leg.
Brian Bear asked if there was any chili left over from Salem.
Who did?
Brian Bear.
No, it's all
No.
gone.
But
Yeah,
hey,
thanks
thanks for coming to see us today, Brian. At least your brother stopped by. Any
Okay.
questions?
We have another question. Matt Weaver asked, is the NASCAR Truck Series spec engine program fascinating to you guys at all?
No, it's a good for a team like us and me and Dad. It actually gives us another option because we already have Elmore's. And if everything is right, ours should be okay to go to the Truck Series, correct?
Oh, that's what they're saying, but I mean, I don't think anything's done yet as far as,
Did Matt say fascinating in quotes?
No, he did not.
Okay, all right.
if anything's wrote in concrete right now. You know, it's like anything else. I mean, we're ARCA guys, so to speak. And for us to change over, especially in me, where I'm at, it would be awful tough to do. So it's absolutely an option. If somebody come in here and say, hey, you know, Will can go run Daytona, if he had a motor, then we do have motors for that. But as far as us gearing up and building trucks and stuff, I don't see that happening, no.
No, we built a street stock instead.
We built a street stock to go run Salem instead of a truck, yeah. They pay better, though.
No, turn the camera around, not you.
Andy, we're going to give you a peek here.
Walk over, Josh.
Walk over. Champ is still alive.
How old is he now?
15.
15?
15 or 16.
He's still up to his old tricks. The fun part is when he's not looking.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not a trick pony.
Matt Weaver said, I'd rather have a street stock anyway.
I'm not going to say it's a bad thing, Matt. At least I'll just leave it at that. It's not a bad thing. What else you got?
I don't have any other questions on screen.
All right, you want to give him a minute? See what else comes up?
Sure. Want to tell him what you're working on in the off season?
I just did.
We've sold a car. We've sold one of our steel body cars.
A couple motors.
A couple motors we've sold. A couple of our old D motors. We are in the process this week of probably going to pick up another composite car that has to be worked on. And at that point, we've got a couple of guys, like I say, that is talking to us right now real hard about wanting to test Daytona. And in order to make it work, we need about two or three people to do that half-day test with us. So we got a lot of things working right now. It's just we've been cleaning a little bit. We've got a couple of cages outside that needs to go. So just a lot of cleanup, a lot of get ready because it'll be here before you know it. So I mean, if that's all right now, we will get back to you guys in a week or so and bring you up to date. We'll probably not do it Monday, and we'll wait till the following Monday. Okay?
I won't be here.
Okay, because the next Saturday is Hall of Fame deal with down in Owensboro, Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame.
We'll do something from there.
And we could do that. That'd be good. Yeah,
That's
that'll be there.
next Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, a week from today.
Yeah. No, that'd be good. We can do that. And then we'll talk a little bit Monday. But other than that, Will's going to be gone to, where are you going to go?
I'm going to work for Driven Dynamic, which we do Ford driver training in Detroit. I've been doing that for a little over a year now, whenever I can.
At the Proving Grounds, right?
Yeah, MPG, Michigan Proving Grounds.
Yes.
So I'll be gone for Monday to Thursday, but it's a good little filler for the off season.
Okay, we have some other questions. Greg Wesley says, do you guys have any shop positions open?
Mike, office at KimmelRacing.com.
Okay. Kyle asked, I asked Will this at Kansas, do the short track brakes have a different thickness than speedway or super speedways?
The rotors definitely do.
Oh, the calipers and everything.
Yeah, everything changes going from our super speedway brakes look like something you'd run on a Prius.
The biggest difference now, what's happening right now though, because of the RPM change, the Ilmore versus the old Roush Yates motors, we have to run a better braking package even at some of the mile-and-a-half tracks. Like Pocono and stuff, we used to not run as big as brake as we do now, simply because we don't have the RPMs to slow us down. We have to depend on the brakes. So, the same thing at Salem and places. I mean, there was times where we could get by at Salem with a good 4-piston deal, and now we have to use some good short track stuff there as well.
Chuck Graves asked, is Frank still racing?
I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, Frank actually ran a street stock at Dillon Motor Speedway. So, but as far as running ARCA, no, he's not. I don't believe he's doing anything no more. No.
Okay. Todd says thanks for doing this.
That it?
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Appreciate
Thank you,
everybody
guys.
watching.
And we'll see you a week from Monday.
Yep.
Or next
Next
Saturday. We'll
Saturday.
see you next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
That'd be good. Thank you.